It's not nice to meet you.
You better hope I never see you out in public. He lives down in Texas. Woe unto him if he runs his mouth like to a Texan the way he ran his mouth to me. Parts of him would be found.
Did you hear that, folks? Did you hear that, folks? Parts of you would be found. You know, listen, I don't really care even if those claims are true. You just don't do that. And you know what's so crazy, you know? I'm just not a fan of the way that Sharp Entertainment have decided to... I'm not going to use the word exploit. I'm going to say that I'm not a fan of the way they have really enhanced and really focused on Niles' anger issues. Because it's as if they're trying to display a narrative about who he is. But then again, though, at the same time, though, can they really display a narrative of him that is untrue when he's actually behaving the way we see him behaving in front of our eyes? This is what I'm saying. That's where the dilemma comes into place. Point being is this. Niles has to really work on this anger issue he's got going on. Because threatening people is not it. Threatening people on national television is not it. Okay? He's putting himself in a position where if he is seen on the streets, he can easily now be profiled because of his behavior and the way he's conducting himself throughout the tell-all. But listen, some people will say, but he's on the spectrum, okay? So, but we'll get into that one as we move forward with the rest of the madness to come. And now we're about to encounter the most annoying cast member of tell-all history from my perspective. Well, let's get into it.
And then not a single time that she would ask me about how my kid was doing. What she mentioned, like that I hung up the phone the previous night, my kid was sick.
You know, I feel like I've heard this before though. But I don't know if that's from 90 Day or a different show. But point being is, I have heard of, you know, when people are with someone and that person doesn't actively really try and ask that person about their child. Oh no, I know what show it was. That was Married at First Sight UK. Yes, that was the same issue in that show. You know, and to be fair, it is a common thing for somebody that is a single parent. If they are with someone, you know, they do like to be with someone that will make conversation about their kid at some point. It doesn't have to be, you know, the big conversation. It could be the smallest of things like, hey, so how's your kid feeling today? Do you know what I mean? Or something else like, you know, just anything. Anything. It's as small as the things. It doesn't have to be a deep conversation any kind of way. And even if that person brings up their child, they want you to also get involved and, you know, have something to say a little bit, you know what I mean? So therefore, you show your interest. So if he felt as if like Vanya wasn't showing interest in his child, well then that's it.
So I didn't call. She didn't attack me, but she mentioned like, we cannot do that. We have to talk very often. So I told her that she's a needy and I'll call her later.
So here's the thing. The moment that he said that, I told her that she was needy, you know, and I'll call her later. Now, for me personally, I'm going to 100% sit here and agree with what Josko was saying here. Because you see, Vanya is a very needy person. Very, very needy person. And you know, needy people, you know what they can't be? They can't be second choice to anything most of the time, okay? And also, needy people have a mindset where they are programmed to think about themselves first before thinking about the other person, for the most part, all right? And Vanya has displayed throughout the season that she only thinks about what she wants and how she feels, rather than thinking about whatever the man she's with is trying to tell her. When she met Bosco, yes, of course, there was the texts before that, okay, with a little bit misleading, completely get it. But once she got there, she wasn't listening to what he was saying. He was just saying that, listen, I want to take things slowly, okay, because, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm able to pick up the same vibe that we had from the texts in person. She wasn't listening. She wanted to keep pushing and pushing and pushing for him to stay at her place, pushing, then his friends then convince him, pushing and pushing and pushing, because she's a pushy, needy person. So I can imagine if you're dealing with someone like Vanya and she's too busy thinking about the fact that she wants her needs met, she's not going to be thinking about asking you about your kid. But she's only thinking about herself. 100%. And she's only gonna indulge in the conversation that involves your kid if you bring it up. But let's continue.
The phone on me. You said, I'm going to get rid of my child. I'm going to get rid of my responsibilities and my job and everything. And I'm going to just dedicate all of my time to you.
You know, she finishes up by saying, which is not what I asked for. But here's the thing, though. See, and this is what I mean about how Vanya is the main character in her life. She's main character syndrome. She's not paying attention. And to be fair, when we get to the end of their segment, what she says at the end pretty much confirms all of my thoughts when it comes to her. But right here, if he said these things to you, okay, about, okay, I'm going to give up this, and that, that means he is basically telling you that this is how you make him feel, because you are always about you, never about nothing else but you. But she's not looking to listen to that or to understand that or even process that. She's too busy thinking about, no, I didn't say nothing like that. Listen, people don't have to directly say something for somebody to feel something. People have to behave how they behave for somebody to feel something. Do you see what I'm saying? And let's be real, what somebody says is nowhere near as powerful as how somebody behaves. Because people say a whole lot of this, but then behave a whole different way. Do you see what I'm saying here? So yeah, you sit there and also pay attention to the fact that she had to interrupt him. She has a tendency to not allow him to finish. So each time he says something, and the second that she's like, okay, this is now kind of coming out of a position where I'm no longer in control, I'm now going to look like as if I could be the bad person or whatever, or I've got to now take charge and say, no, guys, this is what happened. Now, I am not disagreeing with what she's saying. I'm saying what she's saying is proving that you're not listening to him, that you're not paying attention to the situation. You're only thinking about yourself. But let's get into it.
Which is not what I would appreciate if we actually kept our communication going. That's all I said. And then you just called me needy and hung up on me. That was unnecessary.
Hanging up on you probably was unnecessary. But if he hung up on you, I can imagine it's because you wasn't listening. That's why he called you needy and said, you know what, F this, I'm gone. I'm gone.
Got you so emotional.
It's just being intimate with somebody for me is a big deal. And the fact that he got that from me, I don't know if I'm going to say I want to take it back.
Let's all make it about Vanya. You know what's so crazy, yeah? I love the way she thinks that being intimate is only a big deal to her. This man met you in Croatia, right? Spent time with you in Croatia. Respected your boundaries to not be intimate whilst you was in Croatia. Okay, but in the same time, still continued to give you that reassurance that he was attracted to you. Fast forward, he flies all the way to the United States of America to see you, spends time with you, leaving his child behind, which is something else we're going to get into as well. Leaving his child behind, okay? So he can come and spend some more time with a woman that he clearly saw potential in. Potential in, right? But then he gets there, right? You two obviously finally have your intimacy. He leaves, and certain things just aren't adding up. Patterns are just not this and that. So then he made a choice that he felt was best for himself. And it's funny because Bozo also made a choice that was best for himself. And she complained about the fact that, no. In fact, Bozo made a choice that was actually best for her. He said that, listen, I didn't pursue things with you because I didn't want to hurt you. And she was like, oh, so because you want to hurt me, that's why you decided to leave me. Wow. I'm sorry, but how is that not a good thing? Bozo saved you from this situation here. He probably saw it coming. He probably knew that if he slept with you or he even tried to indulge you, he probably knew that this is how he was going to react. Josko just didn't pick up on that. But then again, Josko probably didn't pick up on it because obviously he knew little about you. Bosco knew a little bit more about you. Bozo knew about you. But obviously Josko was like, listen, so far the vibe seems to be okay, so let's just go with it. Do you see what I'm saying?
But you make her feel used.
I completely disagree. I mean, when I was coming to Orlando, we were just extending on what we built. Didn't realize that
That is ridiculous. You make her feel used. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that women could only be the people that could feel used. Not every man is out there to use you for your body. Listen, don't get me wrong. Passport bros are a thing, but he's not exactly that, is he now? She met him in his own home turf. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not like he went online looking for some international fun. Do you see what I'm saying? Come on now, about she feels used. It's all about Vanya. Oh my God.
my kid is going to cry after I leave him, so I didn't come to Orlando with a thought, oh, I'm going to have sex and then I'm going to break up with her. That's completely unrealistic.
It is completely unrealistic. And you know what makes it even more unrealistic? It makes it unrealistic to the fact that this would be a financial burden. Because think about it. This is a guy that has to provide for himself and a child, okay? Unless he's a terrible father or unless he's a greedy man for some intimacy, right? I don't see somebody that displays himself the way he has so far in terms of the fact that he fostered a kid and seems to be so far displaying himself as someone who's obviously clearly a good father, because she never said anything about him being a bad father, right? So for him to put himself in a position where he said, listen, I'm going to put some money to the side that I can use to actually go see her, you have to understand he had to think about that. Anybody that's a good single parent, right, will know that when they meet somebody, they have to think about their finances, okay, and how they're going to, you know, do certain things with this said person. Do you see what I'm saying? But of course, if they're doing something that person offers to pay, that makes it feel even great because therefore it's a burden off their shoulder. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So the fact is this, right? At first, I was like, based on how they portrayed the story, I think on the first tell, it felt as if maybe that was. Oh no, I think it was the episode before the tell. They made it seem as if maybe he was using it, but no. Now, no. This man had the right intentions. Vanya just went and messed it up because it's all about who? Team Vanya. And also on checkout, guys, you can also give me a 5, 10, or 15% tip. If you know, you know.
We did like one or two positions all the time.
Wow, thank you for sharing. That's very classy. That's very classy. Necessary. Very unnecessary.
Do you know what though? At first, my reaction was, okay, there was no need for him to, you know, be so detailed about their positions. But the way he finishes it off was quite interesting. And again, remember, when things don't come out in ways that make her feel a certain way, what does she do? She interrupts. And he did say that, listen, you know, when it came to the intimacy part, I don't know if I was too big for her or if she was too small for me, based on their physique, okay? So we only was able to do like 1 or 2 positions, but I still enjoyed it regardless. So that was him basically saying at the end of the day, you know, like, this is how much I liked her. I liked that much that even though, you know, our sex was whatever, I still enjoyed it because it was good to be close to her. But she wasn't willing to listen to that. You see what I'm saying? She just wanted to intro, be like, whoa, guys, did you know that he recorded us? Now, we'll get into that one. I'm onto this woman. The manipulation is real. She wonders why she's been single for so long. Come on now.
Okay, I wasn't gonna go here because this was very emotional for me, but I'm gonna share now that you shared that.
That's not circulating anywhere, is it?
Well, I made him delete it.
It's something that in my head kind of I developed a story about the consent, but it wasn't there. Once she saw it, she was completely devastated.
Right, I thought I'd put the little clip in there, okay? But he says that they had a previous conversation about videoing themselves whilst being intimate. Hence, once obviously they made the video, he then showed it to her. My guess is that when she saw the video, there's something that she didn't like. There's something that she saw in the video that she didn't like. Whether there be something she didn't like about herself in the video, which is more likely to be true because, yeah, women have a tendency to nitpick on themselves rather than the person. Do you see what I'm saying? It's very rare that she's going to nitpick how the man looks in that type of situation and more or less pay attention to how she looks because she's going to make sure that everything looks good from specific angles. You see what I'm saying? So for me personally, I feel like that when she saw the video, she just didn't like how she looked or something else around it. And that's what made it emotional. And that's why she was like, no, it has to go. It has to go. Because the story for me doesn't make sense the way it's been told here. All right? You know, he wouldn't make a video to then show you if he was going to make it in a way where it was actually going to be secret away from you. Do you see what I'm saying? But of course, he then deleted it. That's just my perspective. But, no, yeah, that's my perspective purely because when we saw the trailer last week, they didn't mention that little bit there where he says that they had a conversation about it and she didn't deny it. The only thing that he did wrong was that he then didn't tell her when he was going to do it. Okay? But when he did it, told her straight away. She's acting as if like he took a video, put it on the internet, yeah? And everybody was able to see it. Do you see what I'm saying? On some revenge type stuff. No. Like the whole situation is being blown in. They're blowing it up on a perspective that's meant to make us dislike of just going through sorry for Vanya. Remember, when things aren't going in her way, she will control the narrative. I've said it before. She does it on her TikTok, on her IG. I mean, she literally made a video the other day reading comments from my haters. All because she wants to make a point and also to promote her Team Vanya. At the checkout, you can, give me a tip of 5, 10, 15%. If you know, you know.
And I apologized multiple times.
And this is, people are always, why have you been single so long? Why have you been celibate so long? It's because the second I give somebody a chance, something like this happens.
It's funny, isn't it? She's been single and celibate so long because each time you give somebody a chance, it's always what they do. That tells me this woman has never ever sat there and said, you know what is it that I'm doing wrong? What could I do different? Not what can I do better, what can I do different?
Vanya, did you return to Croatia after Jasko visited you in Orlando?
Yes, I was completely heartbroken after it ended.
What were you hoping?
Well, I mean, I went back hoping that things could potentially get reconciled.
Oh my gosh. You know when somebody doesn't want to take accountability for their actions and they repeat the same pattern? Pay attention. Bozo. She met him online. They were talking. Bozo breaks up with her. Comes back 2 months later and says, hey, let's try again. She accepts him, goes back to XYZ. This situation here, talking with this guy, intimate with this guy, right? He then breaks up with her. And then she just happens to be going to Croatia. And then while she's there, she just happened to say, hey, I'm going to be here. If you want to meet, that'll be cool. And then they meet. Is that not a pattern? Going back to a guy again. She says, oh, I keep picking these guys. They keep doing me dirty. But hold on a minute. But you keep going back to these guys for seconds. Second chance, just to make that clear. Not necessarily seconds. Yeah. Cut the BS.
A couple of days later, and I told him that I was back if he wanted to hang out again, and he said no because of what happened.
Relationship,
and this, okay, do you know what? Hold on.
Then you meet again, and then you do something physically. It gives you maybe a false hopes.
Now, here's the thing. When they met, when she went back to Croatia, they had a kiss, you see. After the kiss, she wanted to meet him again, but he says no. Why? Because he says, as he understands that if I meet her again, I know the feelings are still going to be there, and I don't want to be in a position where I then feel the need to want to kiss her again, so therefore I feel like I want to have her again, which tells me that this woman has the ability and knows that she is somebody that will use herself, use her physical form to try and actually lure a man back in. I can't imagine how she even dressed that day. She probably went in there all glammed up, cleavage, everything. Not saying none of these things are bad. What I'm saying is that she's somebody that understands the power of image. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so she probably went that way and she was ready to just lay it on him. Do you see what I'm saying? And I guarantee you that if she had met him again for that second time, after that first time of the kiss, these two would have been in a bedroom. Do you see what I'm saying? But he was like, no. I need to cut this off right now. I can't see you again because I don't want this false hope to happen because I know that I've made my choice. Do you know what's so funny about that? Who said the same thing? Bozo said the same thing. Similar thing. He literally said that, listen, I had to cut it off, okay? You know, to protect you because this wasn't, you know, I didn't want to hurt you. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? This is literally the same thing. He's saying that I don't want to rekindle things because I don't want to hurt you, you know, anymore. I don't want to make things worse because if we go this way and it doesn't work again, what's going to happen? You're going to be hurt again. Two men who have been portrayed as villains, technically speaking, two men who've been portrayed in a bad light when in reality they've actually been doing the right thing. There are not many men in this world that would have said, no, I'm not going to spend the night with you in your Airbnb to get to know you better. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. There's not many men in this world that would have said, no, oh yes, we can have the seconds. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, because he could have fully taken advantage of it. The fact that she was there, she was hungry, she was thirsty, she was ready to go. He could have bedded her real quick again because they're ready to, anyway. Bozo could have done the same thing 100%. In fact, Bozo probably could have slept with her within the first night, maybe even the second, purely because they'd already had a history of speaking for that period of time. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, the only reason why she didn't bed Josko straight away is because she'd only just got to know him. So that's why I waited until later on, which I do respect. You know, so she's not wrong in that aspect. You see what I'm saying? Okay, if she had bedded Bozo, she wouldn't have been wrong to do that the first time, but it makes sense. You see what I'm saying? But either way, though, these men have displayed themselves, in my opinion, in a respectful way to her feelings and to also her body because they could have fully taken advantage. Come on, ladies. Come on, mandem. We all know plenty of man that'll be all over this. You see what I'm saying? And women, you all know, you've experienced a guy that he'll keep coming back because you keep allowing him to come back. And you keep breaking your heart time and time again. But the funny thing about it is he's not actually breaking your heart. You're breaking your own heart, but you keep allowing him to come back. Let that sink in. But anyway, let's go.
For one of us, and I just thought that it would be smarter that we don't see each other because
You are crying over there again.
This is the story of my life. It's heartbreaking because I give my all in a relationship.
No, you don't give your all. You just want to receive what you want, but never acknowledge what the other person needs from you as well.
Giving and giving, and I get this in return.
Then you gotta ask yourself why. And then if it takes you to look in the
I
mirror,
don't think this is this. I don't
I'm
think
not saying
this
to blame
is on me.
yourself for it.
The fact that Brian said to her, then you need to ask yourself why. She goes, oh, no, I don't think I'm the problem. It's not even about you being the problem. It's about you taking accountability for patterns that you do in your own life.
But,
Yeah.
you know, in the end, we do have to look at the choices we make and
Facts. We have to look at the choices that we make, right? Taking accountability isn't, you know, being negative to ourselves. It's just us recognizing the choices that we are making and seeing how we can change those choices, you know, and do better in those choices. That's all it is. It's a hard thing, but it's not a negative thing.
and we create our own problems. And then we create our own problems, right?
Listen, I am perfectly happy with who I am. It's just
She's not listening. This is what I'm saying. The woman never listens. He's telling you that you create your own problems. And she doesn't want to listen because it's all about Vanya.
it's a shame that I just keep running into these situations where I am coming across wrong people for me.
I felt the
It's a shame that she keeps running into these situations with people that are wrong for her. That is crazy. Now, this goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video, okay? This is where it catches her back in the ass again. You ran back to these men. Okay? You could have rejected. Bozo came back, you could have rejected him. With this guy, you literally booked a flight and then told him that, hey, we might as well meet because I'm going to be there. You are the one that either allows them back or you run back to them. So you can't sit there and say that statement right there. What? Are you crazy? Anyway, with that being said, let's move on to the next one because this is the calamity. Yeah, whatever. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this now. If you are in a position where you feel like you can relate to Vanya, take every single piece of advice that I've said in this video. Because if you feel like you can relate to Vanya, then that's not a good thing. But that's up to you how you want to see that. Also, blaming others for your mistakes because you don't want to admit it to yourself. God diddly damn. If you don't have a mirror in your house, just walk outside, go to a public toilet, and you will see a mirror right there and have a look at yourself. To be fair, going to a public toilet and having a look at yourself in the mirror is probably the perfect setting because your mindset is trashy. Damn. Poopy. Damn. Anyway, let's go.
with your brain completely engaged here, with logic taking front and center.
You're talking to me like I'm stupid, first off, Niles, and I'm not stupid.
Can we just acknowledge that Niles spent... Listen, I have nothing to say about Vaya, Rory, and Sonny. The segment was dead. Anyway, but I want to speak about this because obviously we already spoke about Niles at the very beginning because that's how the show opened up with him and his threatening attitude. And you know what's so crazy? Why does Niles feel like it's okay for him to speak to people like this? He has sat here on this terror, right, trying to call out other people for how they're treating other people, but yet he will speak down to other people that he sees as... Do you see what I'm saying? Honestly, this man needs to check himself real quick. Anybody that wants to talk about, oh, it's a spectrum thing, stop that behavior. He is one disrespectful dude, man. It is not nice, okay? I don't care how Vanya has behaved. Not Vanya, sorry, Vaya has behaved. I don't care. You don't speak to someone like that, belittling someone like that, okay? Because how's that going to help that person? What has she done wrong to you? You don't ever... And the maddest thing is, Niles has approached every single person this season, right, yeah, on a personal level, as if these people are actually going to affect his life. He needs to humble himself. All these threats and stuff. I wonder how he would react if somebody threatened him the way he was threatening Adnan, how he would react the way he has spoken to some people. I wonder how he would react. Well, If this is how he reacts when people just doing their own, when people are just focusing on their own segments, imagine it's against him. And do you know another thing as well that's quite interesting I noticed? When it came to his segment last week, okay, and when Adnan was butting in rudely, he said at Adnan one point, this isn't even your segment. This isn't your time. This is us. So you just stop talking about you and let us talk about us. But the funny thing is though that he has brought up his mouth in every single one, in everyone else's segment. Fair enough, the perspective is different because when it came to Adnan was literally asking him about, do you respect us? Which obviously he was taking attention away from their segment and bringing it to them. Completely get that context. But it doesn't change the fact that this guy has been all up in everyone else's context and he has not done it in a polite way. He's gone after a cast member from each couple. But hey, he's on the spectrum, so you know he's allowed. Stop that. Stop that. I have my listen, do you know what? I'm not gonna repeat my own credentials and my own experience with people in the spectrum, because clearly when I say that, it just goes over people's heads because they still want to be defined about it. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? If people want to use certain things as excuses to allow someone's behavior, that is crazy work. Absolutely crazy work. No one should ever be excused for anything that they do in this life that is not nice. Everybody should always be held accountable for anything they do in this life that is not nice, regardless of whatever spectrum that they may on, or regardless of what mental health position that they're on. No excuses. No excuses. Just come on now. We live in this world where people just use spectrums and mental health as an excuse to why it's okay for them to bully others, or why it's okay for them to speak in certain ways, and all this kind of gibberish. It's a madness. It's a madness. But hey, you know what happens though, right? People only have certain judgment depending on whether they like that person or not. But let's get into the next one.
Stupidity right there. Yeah. Knowing that something is up is wrong, that you know she's not going to like that, but you did it anyway.
Wait, I'm sorry, but so he's telling Lauren that if you know something is wrong, you shouldn't do it anyway. But hold on a minute. Didn't you know that it was wrong for you to fly to Ghana without telling Matilda that you was gonna marry her? But didn't you still do it? Wait. When you was there, didn't you try and buy her things to soften the blow for when you was gonna finally tell her the truth? Do you know what? I'm so sorry. It's because, you know, because now he's on the spectrum, right? It's called masking, so he has an exception. Yeah. But anyway, definitely not excusing Lauren. Lauren is definitely shouldn't have done the dirty. 1000%. Yeah. I agree with the calling out of the Lauren. Just don't agree with the part that he's been a hypocrite massively, because he wants to be involved in everybody's relationship. Him and honestly, I don't know how Niles and Vanya aren't a couple. To be honest with you, they both have the same freaking syndrome, and that is main character syndrome. Tell me otherwise. Psst.
Like him, so I mean, you're just gonna be like, oh, full of liar. Like,
Esther, let me just stop you right there. You're making yourself look worse when you say that.
am I?
You see, talking to people as if they are no respect. What? You just met this woman. You saw her like maybe appear once on the show. Let me stop you right there. Let her finish her sentence, man. Let her do her thing. And then let us judge. Jesus.
Like,
guess what? Everyone else here listened to him. We're all saying the same thing.
No, you're not listening. You guys are actually attacking him. I want to play devil's advocate. I'm a very friendly person. I like to come up to people. As an Eastern European, we
Yeah, great story. So here's the thing. Obviously, this is all about the situation that happened with Lauren, and of course, you know, being accused of flirting with the drag queen, and then being flirting with a younger girl. Okay, this is what this is all about, pretty much going on right here. And listen, to be honest with you, you know, to be fair with you, especially after what Vanya said, not gonna lie to you, you know, at the end of the day, you know, Lauren is definitely one of those people that he's a social butterfly. He's a social butterfly. There is a chance that, to be honest, he was probably just communicating with XYZ because that's just what he does. He can't help but just talk to people, to be honest with you. Whether that's a bad thing or not, that is entirely up to the people in the relationship, depending on the context of how he's gone about his business. You see what I'm saying? Which we was never given, which is a very key point, because it's also pointed out that what Niles is arguing about here and what Lauren is trying to defend it is something that nobody actually saw. When I say nobody, I'm talking about like nobody in general. This is something that had allegedly happened like off camera with nobody around. So it's literally a pointless conversation.
you know,
Your relationship will never work. It never ever
Why
work.
not?
You know why?
Because he's honest right now.
You know why? Because she's looking for a man.
Am I the only person who heard that? He said the relationship would never work because you are looking for a man. That's what I heard. Then Lauren responded by saying, I am a man. Nobody even said anything. That's what I heard. Well, you know, I'm just gonna go off with the assumption that that's not what he said. I'm gonna go with the assumption of what everybody else portrayed it to what it was. Apparently, he must have said that because you are not a man. It's never gonna be because you are not a man. That's what I guess I'm guessing that's what Adam. That's what he said. But yeah, I heard it differently. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, interesting.
I'm a man.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, I only have one testicle, so I'm like half a man. If that's how you really do it.
You're closed-minded. I'm sorry that
This is
you're
not closed-minded. This is that's what he's doing.
I know I keep saying it, but is there any need for that level of aggression? The woman is now just trying to I feel sorry for the woman, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't at first because she knows Lauren, but now I just feel sorry for her because she's trying to just be a friend. And boy, Niles is speaking to her as if she is Lauren, as if she's the one that done the dirty madness. It's a calamity.
Make mistakes too. You know what the difference is though? I say that, yeah, okay, I because quite frankly, I don't have the brain power to do the mental gymnastics this man does.
But quite frankly, you have the brain power to project your voice. You have the brain power to go threaten people. You have the brain power to keep interjecting other people's relationships. And you have the brain power to also mask a lot of things. Ooh, but you don't have the brain power to do the mental gymnastics of Lauren. Oh my goodness gracious me. That must make you a great person, even though your brain power has obviously put you in positions where you've done things that are clearly not kind, especially things that involves being so aggressive. I mean, your brain power seems to have a whole lot of power. But yeah, you keep telling us otherwise. Listen, I'm on it today. I'm calling out everything.
Just say I'm sorry.
But I have said I'm sorry multiple times.
The office sorry, but the story ends hurt.
I love the way Faith is playing to the cameras. Bro has said sorry how many times to you, and you keep taking them back. But you want to make it look like as if you're the victim in the situation. Nah, stop that behavior. He's obviously done what he's done, which is absolutely disgusting. He's apologized for it, and then you've given him another chance and you've taken him back. And now you want to sit there and say, yeah, he said he's sorry, but the love still ends or hurt. What? Don't do that. And we all know that you two are active still together now anyway. This woman was just saying things just for camera. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a producer in the background telling her just to make it sound a bit more spicy. Come on now. Yeah, whatever. I ain't believing anything that's coming out of Faith's mouth because I don't know if what's coming out of her mouth is really her words or the production's words, or if what's coming out of her mouth is just, what is it? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Decision, right? So I mean, like, I'm not forced her to get married. Yes, I talked about marriage.
It seems like she doesn't know about it though.
To be honest, surprise for me. I didn't really know what's going on. I didn't think so.
Faith doesn't know about a wedding? Doesn't know about a marriage? Interesting because before she also said, oh, I don't really remember him telling me about him sleeping with other people. The way she just seems to forget certain things is quite interesting. It tells me that, to be honest with you, Faith probably opens up his messages, reads them, and says, listen, as long as he's paying me, I don't really care. That's what I'm thinking, to be honest with you. She just cares about the bank account.
So we never spoke about that.
There's no way. I don't have my phone right now, but totally, I told you.
It's a no.
Wow.
And then she's like, no, it's a no. It's a no. I don't want to be with him no more. Whatever, I'm out. Peace. Like, subscribe, comment.